To sum up an album in 3 words is a really difficult thing to do, but if I had to try with this one, it would be something like a personal journey. I'm so happy that this album's being released. I started the song cycle 26 years ago, so it's been a very long time coming. It was never commissioned, and for a long time no one showed much interest in it, so it's a huge relief that it's coming out now, and in such magnificent performances by Marcus Farnsworth and Hugh Watkins. In the mid-90s, I was living in Milan. I was teaching English to make ends meet, and I'd visit various offices, factories, industrial plants, teaching classes of people who worked there. And one day in one of these classes, only one person showed up. We ended up chatting, and he told me about the poetry of Salvatore Quasimodo, which was completely new to me at that time. Quasimodo is really well known in Italy because most children study his poetry at school. And that day in Milan, my student wrote on the blackboard probably Quasimodo's most famous poem, "E di subito sera," and suddenly it's evening. It's incredibly beautiful, very brief, 3 lines, very much like a haiku, and it hit me so strongly that straight after the lesson I went out and bought a volume of Quasimodo's poetry. And I began setting to music a poem called Al di là delle onde delle colline, Beyond the Waves of the Hills. It's a poem of incredible compassion and tenderness, and it's addressed to somebody who's died. And my setting was just about the slowest music I'd ever written, and it occurred to me suddenly that it would only make musical sense if it came right at the end of a long structure, going from birth to death. So I realised I was writing the end of quite a long piece, and gradually over the next few years I added songs, working my way backwards towards the beginning. I really got to know Italy when I was a university exchange student, but the problem was that the way the Italian university semesters worked didn't really line up with the way the UK university terms worked, so I could only stay there for 3 months, which was just about long enough for me to feel that I was keeping my head above the water with the language and beginning to understand what was going on in lectures. So after I finished studying, I went back again to live, and that's how I ended up teaching English in Milan. That teaching job was pretty much full-time, and it didn't really leave space for thinking about things like composition, and I began to have my doubts about whether writing music was something I was really going to do. But it was in the midst of all that I came across Quasimodo's poetry, and that was how I rediscovered that composition was something I really needed to do. So it was an incredibly important moment for me.